This is one of my favorite sections of the Learning Garden. This is called a Three Sisters Garden. The Three Sisters Garden consists of, can you guess? Corn, squash, and beans. This garden is so tightly planted that it's really kind of difficult to find the squash at this time of the year. So deep within these plantings, the squash is planted in order to have squash to eat, but also the large leaves of the squash plant cover the soil and help prevent the growth of weeds and help lock in moisture. The corn, which you see here, provides a wonderful trellis for the beans. The beans will wind their way up the corn and use it for support as they grow. You can see that here. The beans are in the legume family, and so they help fix nitrogen, which feeds the corn. The kind of beans that we've grown are called Scarlet Runner, and these are what they look like. And this is some of the popcorn that we harvested from last year. This year we're doing a different variety of corn. It's called Painted Mountain, and it's usually used for ornamentation or for flour. So I'm excited about this experiment because we haven't grown a flower corn in the garden before. So it will require a little extra preparation. The magic of this garden, this Three Sisters garden, is that it needs less water because those squash leaves are keeping the ground covered and more moist. You don't need to weed it as much because of the squash leaves again. You don't need to fertilize it because the legumes, the Scarlet Runner beans, are adding nitrogen to the soil. And you don't need to trellis it because the corn is providing support. So the Three Sisters garden is also producing food that doesn't require refrigeration. Just as you see those beans and corn sitting there at the edge of the garden bed, the corn will dry. The squash can last for up to 6 months after harvesting without refrigeration. And the beans also can be dried and can last for years. So this ingenious method of planting and growing food is unique to Native Americans in many parts of what is now referred to as the United States. It's unlikely that the Three Sisters method would have been used here in this area in Multnomah and Washington counties, but it has traveled as far west as Central Oregon. So this method of planting is just one of the many ways that we grow here in the garden without using the industrial agricultural systems that have become so popular now in 2020. One of the main reasons that this process is not used more widely is because just look at the density of this planting. Can you imagine coming in and harvesting these beans with a bean harvester on the back of a tractor? Can you imagine using a combine to collect the corn? No way, right? Can't be done. This is a human scale way of growing food. I'm really happy to share it with you today.